Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain and out in the field. Suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." And his brother said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. It says, "So when the Midianite merchants came by, the brothers pulled Joseph out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt." God chose to bless Joseph, and Jacob gave Joseph a coat with many colors. So Joseph wore this coat proudly because he was set apart from the others. So much so that Jacob entrusted him to oversee the conduct of his older brothers. And see, this is where it gets good, because his brothers, who were unwise and lacking understanding, they misunderstood his principles for pride. It amazes me how when you stand on godly principles, people look at you as if you're a prideful person. Because you won't fall into the customs and the actions that they are falling into, the ungodly ways, the unhealthy ways that they're into. When you stand on godly principles and they look at you and say, "You think you all that?" Right there. If you're principle driven, be prepared to be despised and hated by those close to you. I don't care who it is, friction will always show itself when you stand on godly principles that conflict with someone's current behavior. So my objective today is to prepare somebody for their blessing, because a lot of folk miss their blessing because they thought being holy and being good to people will make your world full of love and acceptance, and that you want to encounter some painful experiences along the way. But the truth is, when you do right for the sake of doing right, there will be seasons when you have to endure pains from people who just don't understand your principles. Yeah. Do you remember back in the day we used to run the streets together? Now all of a sudden, you don't want to hang out with us no more? You think you all that. But the reality is you found principles that work for you eternally.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah.
And you refuse to compromise for something that's not eternal. So I had to learn to shift in these painful times when people undervalued me and people looked over me and people just couldn't understand me, and I was always misunderstood, and people just looked at me like, "You think you're better than what you are," and they only see me for being right here. I've had to understand that I can't expect you to see the God in me if you can't even see the God in yourself. Isaiah 55, verse 10 and 11, I'm going to read it. It says, "As the rain and the snow come down from heaven, and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." When I speak a word, it comes out of my mouth, it comes alive, and it goes down to the earthly realm where you are. The promise has an assignment to find you. The promise has an assignment to fulfill its duty by giving to you what he's supposed to give to you. But until you receive it, it cannot go back. Because he says, "My word shall not return void." In other words, my word shall not come back until it has done what it was sent to do.
Yes.
So you've got promises stored up right now here on earth that you have not seen yet, that you have given up on, but your promise is still here, waiting for you.
Yes.
And in your appointed season, you will become one with your promise. That way it can go back with a report to the Lord saying, "I delivered what you told me to deliver."
Yes.
God wants you to be healed and delivered. And when you think about something being delivered, it's like a package. The package started in one place, but when it was delivered, it ended up in its destination. It ended up in a totally different place. And there's no return to it. It's you started here, And when you get the notification that it has been delivered, it's not in the same place. It's not in transit. It has reached where it was intended to be. So God is saying, I need people in here delivered. I need people to be exactly where I intended them to be.
Man.
That's what deliverance is. So when you get there, you forget about where you came from. It doesn't even matter. Y'all know when you get your package, it doesn't matter where it came from. All that matters is that it has arrived.
Amen. Amen.
Jesus. God is saying once you have been delivered, then it no longer matters where you came from. The only thing that matters is that you're here.
Amen.